Whoa, look where we are. We're outside today. You know what? I have guests all the time, and they record outside. And I've also been watching podcasts, but outside, which is my favorite podcast. And I thought, why not give it a shot? So I'm coming to you on a nice fall day after Thanksgiving, uh, episode 39, I believe, of Fun Zone. And today we're going to be joined by Evan Ward, who I don't believe I've ever met. And we are so much in the same circle that it's absolutely crazy that we've never hung out. And so we're going to try to fix that today. I'm excited to talk to him about his two new songs. Thank you for helping me reach 150 subscribers on YouTube. That means the world to me. And thank you to everybody who's been watching and listening. It is so much fun to be doing this and excited to do it again today. So let's get Evan in here and, let's do this. Check 1, 2.
Let's see.
Evan Ward
You
in the
there?
house. Dude,
Free?
what's up,
How's
bro?
it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing good. I'm excited to be in the fun zone.
It is really great to be talking to you, man.
Thanks.
What's up? Where are you coming from today?
Right now I'm in Missouri, meeting up here with my family. So,
Is that where you're
just
from?
doing. No, I'm actually from Louisiana. It was just kind of a tradition to meet up here because both my sisters went to University of Arkansas, and so this was really close for them. And so we just
Whoa.
started we just started meeting up here. So it's kind of like 10 years in the making doing this at this point. So
That's
yeah.
awesome, man. Wow,
How are
10-year
you?
tradition, dude. I'm doing good. I'm coming to you from my porch at the house that I live in with my family. So it's not a lot different, but
Yeah.
we've been
Yeah.
eating pecan pie. So
Nice.
we got some Thanksgiving going on here, but nothing too
Yeah,
much
man.
different. My grandparents actually live right next door, but I didn't get to see them, because of wanted to play it safe.
Yeah. Because of
Uh,
COVID.
so it was cool though. We got to go over and bring them some baked
Yeah.
goods and stuff and wave at
That's
them.
that's nice. It's always good to see family.
Yeah, dude, it's great to be talking to you. I don't have we ever met before, like face to face?
Okay. I think we've met once at least that I can remember, but it was very it was brief. You and Grant and somebody came and got like a shirt from my apartment when I was a sophomore at Belmont.
What?
Yeah, because my roommate was JD Briggs,
Yes,
and
dude. Yes,
he gave you all some of the like triple Z like embroidered
the triple Z
shirts.
threads. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, the triple Z threads, and I think that's the only time, and it was very brief.
Wow.
I played a show with Grant that night at the Well, but that was like 2.5 years ago.
Weird. I want.
Um,
Did I see you play that night?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe I did. That does sound very familiar.
Yeah, it was Grant and this girl Emily who goes to Lipscomb. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was kind of like an acoustic. Like we both did acoustic sets, and then Grant did like the full band thing. You might have been there. I don't
That's
remember. That was
crazy.
that was a long time ago though. So
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. Well, it's good to be talking to you now. I have
yeah,
always felt like I'm surprised we've never crossed paths until recently, except
yeah.
for in those
I
brief passings.
exactly for sure. I am a real person, contrary to popular belief. So
The reason I thought you might be fictitious is because Bryce has pulled pranks like that on me before. Like
yeah.
there was a tour one time that we were playing a show in Kentucky and this man showed
Mhm.
up before the show, this like old man in like a hat and this like crazy hair, and he was just like following us around. And after like 15 minutes, I was just like, who? I don't know who this is. Why are they following me? And the whole band kept
Um,
laughing. And then Bryce was like, dude, you seriously haven't figured this out yet? And I was like, what? He rips off his wig, and it was Bryce, and he was there to play guitar. He was like, I can play guitar if you need. I was like, yes, this is great.
that's a pretty classic Bryce move. Joe, my roommate Joe Bendekovic, who
Yeah,
it's Kelsey's
totally.
boyfriend. He was talking about the other day how Bryce had like convinced him that Bryce's roommate, shoot, I don't know if it's Danny or somebody else, was like the the audio engineer, like the live sound guy for
Yeah.
Soldier Boy. And he
Yeah,
had
yeah,
convinced him of that for like 2 years. I was like, that's great. That's a total Bryce joke.
yeah. Dude, Bryce is very smart and he's very crafty. And if he wants to pull a
Yeah,
prank on you, he will commit to it
he'll
and
find a
also is
way.
smart enough to pull it off in ways that are well much smarter than me. How
Yes, yeah,
did you meet Bryce and Kelsey and all that crew just by going to Belmont?
yeah.
You go to Belmont?
No, I graduated in May.
Congrats.
I thank you. I got out in like 3 years. Yeah, I know. I'm out in the real world. I got out in 3 years because I came in with some credit from high school, and but yeah, I met Kelsey freshman year because I lived in a dorm, and Joe and Andrew Bannon lived in the floor on the floor above me, and they played for Kelsey, and so I kind of met Kelsey through them and through my roommate,
Cool.
and yeah, I met Bryce through Kelsey because then he started playing for shortly thereafter. So yeah,
That's awesome, man. That's cool. So
yeah,
you came to Belmont. So you were there for 3 years and you've already graduated.
yeah, yeah. I did music business, and I got out in 3 years, and now I'm just kind of like working the day job, just living
Yeah.
life in Nashville. So it's
Chasing
good though.
the music dream.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, doing what I can, I mean, between like work and COVID and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, for anyone listening who doesn't know, you just put out two songs.
Hmm.
Let's see, Window and Days, right?
Yep.
Which
Yeah.
both just came out like about a week ago. They
Yeah. I think
sound
a week
amazing.
today.
Did you
That's all Bryce.
did you record this at Bryce's house?
Yeah. Yeah. At their old house before they moved. Yeah.
Do you hear that siren?
I
There's
do a
ominous
little
stuff
bit.
happening around me. This is my first time recording outside. I just wanted to give it a shot because you had mentioned the sun setting. I was like, man,
Yeah, I was gonna sit outside, but then there were like people out there and the glare was so bad. I was like, oh, I'll just sit inside.
is your family all partying right now while you're inside?
Yeah, I think they're about to watch Elf.
Oh, fun. It's Christmas time
So
now.
yeah, yeah.
That's great. Dude, your songs have they all have like is this just the new Spotify or are you somehow making your album covers like take up the whole
Oh,
screen?
that's like the canvas thing.
Yeah, right. Canvas.
Yeah, I just well, it was
How'd
like
you
right
work your
before I put
magic?
that out. No, right before I put that out, I got an email from DistroKid, which is like what I use to put everything out, and they were like, you can do Canvas now. You can put like a picture or a video or whatever that like I don't know, 20-second, 30-second video that
Cool.
plays. And so I just logged on and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that. And so I just put a picture on all of
Whoa.
them.
So anybody can do that now?
Yeah, if you have DistroKid, I think you can just upload either a picture or like video. I didn't have any video that like would be suitable for
Right.
Spotify, but yeah, that was I don't know.
That's
I thought
really
that'd be
cool.
cool.
I
Yeah,
knew that they were like doing the beta testing, like where it was only available for certain artists. Like I'd seen a lot of hip hop
right,
and like
right.
popular music with it. That's cool. I guess they've officially opened it up to everyone, or maybe just
Yeah,
you. Maybe you're getting some white glove treatment. I don't know.
yeah, maybe so. No, I think it's just whatever distributor you use. Like DistroKid has a lot of cool features like that, and they're so big. They're usually like the first ones to get it for
Yeah,
independent artists and stuff. So
yeah. I use
yeah,
DistroKid as well. And they've done really good. I've actually jumped around a bunch, trying different
really,
ones, and I've stuck with DistroKid until I find one that like as far as like service distributors, like ones that just do a service for you, they seem
right.
to be pretty legit.
Yeah,
And unless I found one that was like, I know there's like smaller ones that would like want to work with you and they'll like pitch you to
mhm.
labels. You know what I mean? There's like more of like a
Yeah,
contractual thing.
for sure.
Maybe I'll do that someday, but for now, being independent and just
Right.
uploading it through a
And it's like
service.
a flat fee. You can release as much music as
Totally,
you want,
totally.
and it doesn't cost you anymore. So
Are you gonna go back through your old discography and like make canvases? Have you thought about that?
I uploaded some pictures for him. Like I just went through and like I tried to go back and find pictures from like when I uploaded them because I was bored. I was bored at
Yeah.
work, and I was like, I might as well do this. And so I was going to try to find some. But yeah, I think they all have a canvas right now. And then I texted uh,
That's
Joe, my
sick.
roommate, and I was like, "Yeah, go look at him." He was like, "This is stupid. It's not even a video." I was like, "Well, don't kill my vibe like that." But
He killed your vibe.
he
Wait,
did.
no, these look good. They're all
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool.
even if it's
I
literally just the album cover, it's like
right. I think it's cooler than just like having the. Maybe it's just because it's new and it's not like the typical just Spotify, kind of template.
yeah.
But
Well, for like a long time we've so much of what we've done as content creators has like been on our phone, but it's been more of like a square shape. You know,
right,
things like Spotify and really like TikTok are like pushing that boundary of like, why
yeah,
are we not making content that fits
full
the
screen,
screen that we use the most?
exactly.
You know what I mean? I guess
Right.
because you always think about a TV or like a computer as being the ultimate viewing platform. So,
Yeah,
but with something like TikTok or even Spotify, I guess they're thinking the ultimate place to view this is on a phone.
yeah. It's what we look at the most every day.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's like, why not?
Yeah, totally. That's cool. That's cool. Well, that's cool to hear that Bryce did engineered your project. Did he produce it
Yeah.
as well, or was that like you two together, kind of?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was kind of us together. I mean, I don't know, the whole producer like label's really vague, but yeah,
Yeah,
I would
right.
say he produced it. And I mean, I think everyone who was involved like had a lot of input. Johnny played drums on it, so those sound
Cool.
awesome. And my
Yeah,
friend Connor, who co-wrote Window with me, played he played Juno, and maybe something else on it. But yeah, we co-wrote that together, and he had a lot of input.
that's
So
cool. That's cool.
yeah.
Is are these two songs just kind of a one-off thing, or are you working towards some sort of bigger project right now musically?
I those are one off. Like I just kind of I didn't plan on putting out Window, and I was gonna put that out as a single, but then actually I didn't even plan on putting it out. Like me and Connor wrote it, and then when I heard like the demo we made, I was like, I kind of think this could be cool. Like it's a newer sound that I haven't ever done, so I was like, I want to put this out. And then I tacked on Days, which is a much older song.
Oh,
And
really?
so though, yeah, I wrote that song 2 years ago.
Cool.
Around when I was still living in that apartment with JD was when I wrote that song. So yeah, those are going to be one off. I do want to like start working on a bigger project now that I'm like putting out stuff again. So
Yeah, right. How what inspired you to do like two songs as opposed to just doing the single game, which a lot of people are doing right now? Like you put out a kind of an A and a B side in a sense.
yeah, well, it was like I was gonna just put out Window, and we went and recorded it. And the way that Bryce, it was fun. We did Window like over two different nights and two different sessions, and we came in the first night and we got everything down, and it sounded like really good, but it was almost like kind of like dry, like very scientific on the beat. And then Bryce was like, he was like, I just kind of want to like pour alcohol over this and make it sound like a party. And so
Mm-hmm.
like we came back, and Bryce was like, I want, like, the first night was really like on the beat, we were trying to make it sound as on as possible. And he was like, the second night I just kind of want to party. So like we made a few drinks and we did like the fun piano solo over it and stuff. And so at the end of that night I was listening back to what we had recorded, and I was like, it sounds like a party, but like, when I'm listening back, it's like I don't really want the party to end. And I'd been looking for a place to put Days, and I always knew that I was gonna release it eventually because I really love that song. And I was like, it kind of fits the vibe of not wanting a party to end, and then everyone leaves, and then you're just kind of like in your feels, and
Yeah,
you sit down, you're alone. And so I was like, we could keep like the scene of the party going, and it feels like a natural place to put it. So
that's a really cool idea. I like that a lot. That's cool.
and then
Obviously, I've worked with Bryce and Johnny on all of my songs since my last album.
mhm,
Like all the singles I put out, and it's really fun getting to work with them. They
yeah,
they have an incredible creative process, and they're just incredibly talented people.
yeah, they're
For those was Bryce Dubray and Johnny Hobson, who we're talking about of the band Future Crib, also in my band a lot, recorded with me and Kelsey and you and I
So
don't
many
know who
people.
else they work with. Yeah, a lot. I know they've been working with Z Swan lately.
Mhm.
Probably played with Grant before.
Yeah,
Yeah, an amazing group of people, and all of the Future Crib crew, and especially those two getting to work with them
they're awesome.
is really really cool. Was this your first time working with them, or have you worked with them on past projects?
Yeah, no, I this is my first time. I mean, I had played a couple shows with Bryce, either playing with Kelsey or he had played like a show a long time ago with me doing my stuff. But this is the first time like recording anything with them. Man, they're really talented. They're awesome. They're super creative and like you said, they're super smart and like know where to put stuff and they've just got like a great uh like intuition when it comes to all that, you know, like
Yeah,
achieving the
totally.
vision. They're just really great and all the Future Crib stuff is awesome. I always fangirl to Bryce about Future Crib.
Yeah, yeah, me. Yes, man, it is really incredible. Their Future Crib project is so good. How did you get involved with that particular? I know you mentioned like the dorm life, but is that how you got connected with this kind of pocket of Nashville of these specific people who, this tribe that you're kind of
Right.
associated with?
I guess. I mean, it was mainly through Kelsey and honestly like Kelsey Abbott for, for those who don't know. She was kind of the one like I became friends with her because I was friends with Joe and them and like and Joe and Andrew played with me and all my current roommates and so like we I got involved like writing with her and playing for her and then she kind of introduced me to Bryce and I feel like honestly like I've just kind of gotten into that scene, like I don't really know a ton of those people other than Bryce really well and so it's like but it's like a really cool group and they're all just like amazing at what they do. So
Yeah,
it's
right,
been really
totally.
cool to get
Yeah,
into that. So it all boils down honestly to Kelsey Abbott.
yeah. Kelsey's
She's the
so sweet.
connector.
Kelsey's so
She is.
talented and such a hard worker. It's been really cool. I got to go on a tour with her where I was playing tambourine and helping drive, and it was
Yeah.
actually I don't know if I think Bryce drove more, but we were driving my van, and yeah, it was incredibly fun. It was incredibly
Yeah.
fun. Oh, where do you work now? You said you work a job. Where do you work?
Yeah. I work for this like corporate place. It's called Southwestern Family of Companies, and basically I just do like front desk. They're just like this conglomerate, and they have a bunch of like smaller companies under them, and
Whoa,
yeah. So I just work the front desk, and it's fun for right now. Like there's not a ton of people that come in, so it's pretty slow.
right.
But I just do a bunch of like odd jobs. Like Wednesday, I like nothing was going on, so I just put up the company Christmas tree and got to decorate that, and that was my job. And I was like, all right, this is perfect. So
Wow, that's crazy. How is that something you? That sounds like an intentional job you found. Like it's not just like a. I don't know. Like how did is that
it,
is that is that like a field you're trying to get involved in
no,
or?
I mean no, not really. I did while I was at Belmont, I took a strategic management class, and we like did a case study on them for the whole
Cool.
semester. And so yeah, I got to meet like the CEO and COO and a couple of people from there. And so when I saw that they had a job opening, I applied and got an interview and thankfully got hired because it was it was a
Whoa.
struggle during COVID to job search.
Yeah. Oh, so this is pretty new.
This is really new. I started in September. So
Whoa. Is it full time?
yeah, full time. So it takes up a lot of my
Snap.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you
it's
balance that with like making music and stuff?
uh, I I mean it's kind of just whatever I can manage. I don't really at this point I don't really have like an intentional schedule. It's like Kelsey Abbott will call me up and be like, "Hey, do you want to write tonight?" And or like, "Do you want to come record at Bryce's? We're working on a demo or trying to record a track." Or
Right.
anything like a couple times I've sang backup for Fulton Lee, and it's just like working
Cool.
around the any person who asks me to do music stuff, I'm always down, and I always do my best to make it work. It's just working around those 8 hours.
Yeah. Right. Totally.
So
Do you feel? I mean, living in Nashville and doing music, is that something that you want to continue to do? Like now that you're out of school,
right,
is that something that you are
yeah,
like pursuing to hopefully one day do? Is like your job and
Right.
stuff?
I mean, that's kind of been the goal. That was like the whole reason I moved up to Nashville. I feel like since I put out like a couple songs when I was at Belmont, and then I took like a break, and I think I just kind of reevaluated, and putting out these two songs, I think I kind of came into it with the mindset of like it doesn't really matter if like this gets 100 streams or 1 million streams. It doesn't really
Mm,
like I used to kind of have that mindset, and now it's like as long as I can do music and it's something that I enjoy and I get to like put it out and show people, I think that's really all I can ask for. And it's
yeah,
stuff that I get to do with my friends. And so whether that's, full time or whether it's part time, just however I get to do that, I don't really have like a preference. I just at this point kind of am glad that I still am able to do that. It's just
right.
kind of fun thing. So I'm just at this point kind of along for the ride, whatever happens.
Sure. It,
So
it sounds like there'd be a lot of freedom in that. You kind of like
yeah,
not putting too much weight on whatever happens and kind of just making it to make it and being involved in it because you're passionate about it.
I feel like that's been like my whole time in Nashville is coming in as someone from a really small pond, big fish, small pond
Right.
thing, and then getting to Nashville and being like, whoa, there's a lot of very talented people here, and it's kind of been the journey of like, don't take yourself so seriously, like just have fun and do what you're doing, and that's the best part of it. There are no rules. You
Yeah,
can
straight
just
up.
kind of like make your own path, but as long as you get to do it, that's what counts. So
Yeah, right. Dude, I thought it was about to start raining. I got a little nervous, and then for better or for worse, I realized I think a bird just pooped a little bit on
uh,
the side
that
of on my shoulder.
that is for worse, I
You
think.
think so? I mean, the
Yeah,
interview carries on though, so I mean, it can't
it
be.
does.
I guess I'm suffering for the art.
Oh yeah. No, dude, I was gonna tell you when I logged on, like it's been really cool to hear all these interviews, and like my parent, I know Katie Nipper said this at one point in her like podcast, but like my parents are really a big fan of this because they get to hear like the people that I, kind of talk about or mention, and they get to like hear their stories and hear fun conversations.
Whoa,
And so they've been listening to Fun Zone a lot.
are you
So I'm
are you
really,
serious? That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, man, I'm really grateful to be on here. I think, I mean, even for me, I think it's cool. Like I've learned a lot about people that I've known for a while now that I didn't know
Yeah,
before.
that's
So,
awesome, dude. That's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I feel, during. Thank you so much for saying that, man. During
sure,
quarantine, without touring, without a lot of social drive that keeps me going, um, it gets a little heavy. And this has been a good way for me to like catch up with people and meet people and kind
right.
of stay interactive. And all, but then there's also the weight without touring. Touring is like a really tangible way for me to feel like growth in my music and purpose in my life. And so, doing something like a podcast, as opposed to touring, sometimes I get overwhelmed and I feel like there's so many podcasts, there's so many people making art, and when you're just in your basement all day, it can feel a little,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
discouraging. But I really, really appreciate you saying that because I think that is, if there is a purpose to what I'm doing right now, I think it is because we, as like a group of people, have this really interesting thing, this like community, and I'm excited to help be like a light or a vessel to kind of highlight some of these people that are
yeah,
making such interesting art and such great people who, and hopefully I can keep having back on and like highlight the stories of these like artists like you and like a lot of your homies like Kelsey and Bryce and Grant and Johnny, um and Katie, and like tell their stories, you know what I mean?
yeah. I think it's really cool also that you haven't had like strictly like just music people. I mean, it tends to be like people that are in that kind of circle or whatever. But like, Katie, I mean, she doesn't, to my knowledge, she doesn't like, normally tour or sing with
Right,
anyone or like,
right,
but she does so much creatively, and
totally.
I think it's cool that like, or I listened to your podcast with Leah like 2
Yeah,
days ago, and I was like, I mean, Leah, she sings she sings backup for like she sang backup one time when I played with Kelsey, or a
Yeah.
couple times when I played with Kelsey. But like, she's not necessarily an artist, but she is so much a connection for so many people that it's cool to like
Yeah. Yeah.
highlight those
Thank you.
stories.
Yeah. I appreciate you saying that. I think
Yeah,
I don't even know why I do that. I guess it's because I feel like the deeper I get into it, the more I realize, like, the deeper I get into the music game, it's actually like I thought you might think that like it would become more and more of a small group and you realize, oh, like there's only a few artists who are really going after it. But it's
right.
more like everybody in our lives have
Yeah,
like purpose. Obviously, like we know that because they're our friends, or we're like, or you're someone's like in a relationship with someone in whatever sense. And but then there's like this weird thing in Nashville. It's like one like half of every person is like an artist and the other half are like
yeah,
fans or something. And it's like that's
yeah,
totally bogus because we're all helping each other. And I just, yeah, I don't know. I feel like everybody's got something to bring to the table. And this is kind of a
yeah.
cool way to like semi even the playing field. I don't know, like just allow people of all types to have a chance to speak, you know?
Yeah, no, totally. It's like when you're not the one on stage, a lot of times, you get overlooked, or if you're not the one in like the center, you get overlooked. But like all those people are very much responsible for like making the music, like introducing those people,
Right.
or like, you know, being able to fund it by going to shows.
Totally.
They're all equally, if not more so, a part of that circle.
Yeah,
So
right. And someone like Leah, especially, is a great example of somebody who, like, you can pretty clearly see how essential she is to the people she's around. Like, she does physically does things for them that allows them to continue what they're doing. And she specifically, it was interesting talking to her because she's like sometimes a little bit more of a background player. Like, she's doing stuff behind the scenes. Like, for people like me, she's
right.
the one who put up her and her friend Noelle put up every single balloon at Space Prom.
Yeah,
Like they decorated the entire place. But then as soon as it happens, I'm the one on stage, right? So it's like you
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
It's just like completely a team effort. So
It is.
yeah, and even though there's people like Joe Rogan who have a crazy podcast, they're not having on people like Leah Leach or Evan Ward. So it's cool.
Yeah,
I'm glad to have an opportunity, and it's cool to hear there are people who also want to hear it, like just to create a space where we can kind of talk for a second. And also,
totally.
I have this idea where I want to keep doing this because I just think like it's going to be interesting if I can sustain this. I don't know. Sometimes my projects don't get sustained, but if I
Yeah,
can, it's going to be really interesting to hear people like going through different seasons of life and getting to kind of reconnect with them and see like what's fresh, because we all
right.
we all
Like
go through so many seasons.
I'm looking forward to Fulton Lee episode 2 on the Fun Zone. He's such a cool guy, and I feel like we
Yeah,
could talk for hours about like all the stuff. He's got so much creativity, and it's all like floating around in his head.
dude, totally. We're supposed to film another episode soon. He's got like a whole
Yeah,
thing he wants to share on the podcast that we haven't had a chance to talk about yet. I'm not really
yeah,
sure what he's going to talk about, but I know it's something involving his spirituality and his like music and his family that he now has.
yeah.
He's got a
His
crazy life.
his daughter, man, she's so cute.
Oh yeah, she is cute. Have you been over there to see her?
Yeah, I have. I guess I've seen her maybe twice, once or not, 2 or 3 times. But yeah, like every time she's gotten so much bigger. She's like a chunk, but like she's really cute, and they're such amazing folks. So
They are amazing folks. That's so cool that you know them as well. Where in Louisiana did you say you're from originally?
Ruston, it's North Louisiana. It's like,
What? I gotta look this
yeah,
up.
if you look at like the boot. Okay, fun fact, Neutral Milk Hotel is from Ruston.
What?
Yeah, but like way before me,
Are-
like
Oh my goodness.
like
Are you serious?
25, 30 years probably before me.
Yeah, right. I mean, they
So,
were big in like the mid '90s, early 2000s,
yeah,
I guess.
yeah,
Maybe. Yeah.
they had like that one album that was like I think Joe might have introduced me to that
In
album,
the
but I
airplane
was
over
like,
the sea. Is that what it's
yeah,
called?
yeah, and it was like a cult following for them.
Yeah,
But yeah,
right.
they're from the little town of Ruston. I mean, we don't
Interesting.
have a
Yeah, it looks like I mean, it is probably within a 2 to 3 hour radius to where I've never been anywhere near there. Like, and I never really thought
Really?
about that, but like, you know what I mean? I've played in Little
Yeah.
Rock.
I'm surprised that you've never driven through there. Like, cause I-20 runs straight through there. And so going
Yeah,
like Dallas to Atlanta and stuff.
that's true. Maybe I have driven through. I guess I just mean, maybe I mean performing. Like I've never,
Oh yeah.
or staying the night. Like it's kind of an interesting pocket. What's it like up there? Like northern Louisiana?
It's a lot like Southern Arkansas.
Yeah,
I mean, it's there's a lot of pine trees, and it's cool though. I mean, it was a great place to grow up. Louisiana Tech is there, and that's where my dad went to college, and that's kind of
cool.
why my parents settled there because they were originally both from South Louisiana, so they moved up there. After my dad went to dental school, he went to college there,
Whoa.
and then he went to dental school. He's a dentist. Went to dental school at
Right.
LSU, at their dental school in New Orleans, and then they moved back up there in the 80s when he started his practice.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
yeah,
Do
I
you
know
know a
it's a
guy
it's
named
a
Jace
random thought.
Thornton?
I don't think so.
That's okay. Never mind. Yep. So my sister went to school in Arkansas, like
uh,
closer to Little Rock. She went to Harding, if you know what that
okay.
is.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
uh, and so I want to plan. I play a lot in Arkansas, so I know a lot about the culture there. Like we play in like Jonesboro and Little Rock and
Yeah,
Searcy and Conway and
Little Rock's
Fayetteville and
only 3.5 hours from Ruston.
yeah, just straight north. It looks like.
Yeah, and both or well, only one now. One of my sisters lives in Fayetteville, so
Cool.
Fayetteville's
No
a really
way.
cool. Yeah, it's a really cool city. I like Fayetteville a lot.
Yeah, I like it in Fayetteville as well too. That's cool. Wow, that's really interesting. So, and then you moved here for Belmont for school?
Yeah, yeah, that was the whole reason. There were some people from Ruston that had gone up to do music business stuff, and so I went and toured because I knew that I was interested in doing that. And at first, like, I didn't really decide that I wanted to do music until I was probably a sophomore in high school, and I kind of had told my parents like, why don't I just do that? Like I would rather just go do music. And they're
Yeah.
like, you need to get a degree. And we were like, and I was like, okay, well, let's go look at Belmont. And then I went there, and the campus is beautiful, and
Dude,
Nashville is
yeah.
really fun. And so it was like I was sold when I went there the first time. Which I think I was like a junior in high school. And so then I just applied and I got in, and it's been great so far. I met like a lot of great people, great friends.
Yeah, right. Do you plan on staying here for a while? What's your relationship with Nashville like?
Yeah, uh, I don't think, I mean, there's a lot of places that I think would be really cool to live.
Yeah.
And I've thought about it, but like, as far as music stuff goes, I would never want to, I don't think, I mean, I might eat my words eventually, but like, I don't think I would ever want to live in LA or
Yeah.
like, or, New York. It doesn't really have the same scene, and Nashville's got like a really cool thing that I feel like I'm just now getting into, you know?
Right.
So I remember talking to a guy who went to Belmont, from my hometown. His name's Seth, and he lives out in LA now. But like, I was talking to him when I think I was a junior or senior in high school, and he was like, "Yeah, man, Nashville's like it's a 7-year town, so like you can't really expect to go there and like just and things just to happen for you. Like you kind of have to work for it, and you have to build relationships." I think at the time I didn't really understand. Like I was like, "Yeah, okay, man, that's like cool. 7 years, that's nothing." And then it's like,
Yeah.
which I guess it really is nothing, but I didn't really believe him. And so,
Right.
but then when I got up to Nashville, I think it took me a little while to be like, oh, that's what he meant. And now I look and I'm like, oh, I'm barely through that. I'm just getting into that, just getting into the fun part.
Totally.
So,
Dude, I feel the exact same way.
mhm,
Like I heard people say 5-year town, 7-year town, even 10-year town.
yeah,
And I was just like, I actually kind of scoffed at it. I was like, that's no way that's true. Like I'm going to enter the music scene, work incredibly hard,
hmm,
and carry myself beyond it. And sure enough, it's like, I've been like touring now for like 4 years and performing. I've been playing shows. I mean, granted, I was in high school when I started, but still, yeah, I've been playing now for like
right,
8 years now,
yeah,
And so, and I still feel like in so many ways I've got so much to learn. Like I feel like I'm just starting. It's like
yeah,
I totally get that. And I could not have, I would not have believed it until I was as old as I am now. So that's just crazy. It is a crazy thing about this town, but things do. You
Right.
really just got to put in your time. Maybe you don't. I mean, we have a lot of friends who are
Yeah.
doing really well. But yeah, like there's definitely something to that, and it's pretty. I haven't quite figured out why or how, but it is
I
that way.
I mean, I think like it differs for everyone, and some people just are honestly really lucky and meet the right people and
Yeah,
like just skyrocket, like when they hit the right opportunity. But I think honestly, Nashville kind of has, at least for like the music scene that a lot of Belmont students or Lipscomb students are in, it kind of has a way of like weeding out people who don't really want to be a part of the community. Like they're just
yeah,
looking for a stepping stone. And I think that's part of like the time that it takes. And it's either you like resign yourself to the fact that like, I'm not a part of this community, or I understand that it's going to take that long, or you just leave because it's nothing is instant.
right,
So,
totally. Yeah, I definitely
um,
think there is that separation, especially at Belmont, where a lot of people come in really hot, and like I don't blame them. Like they, in a lot of ways, I think it's really valuable to have that privilege of being able to be like loved and respected in your hometown.
yeah,
And I get why people carry that momentum. In some ways, I'm jealous because being from Nashville, I've always felt a deep sense of like, wow, I've got a long way to go. Like I've always
yeah,
been going to shows, seeing bands that were incredible, and and not that that doesn't exist in other cities, but there's a lot of people who come to Belmont who are from small towns in the Midwest, or
yeah.
and they're like, oh, I'm gonna be a star.
No, I mean that was totally to some degree like me coming into it, and I was like, I I think me and Joe have talked about this. I think I kind of separated myself from that idea a little bit more early on, but I didn't jump into the straight into the mindset of I have to work hard. It was more just like oh man, like no, I'm not who I thought I was. Like almost like should I give up, and then just kind of
Yeah.
sat in that like space for a while. But no, I agree. There's Belmont does have a way of attracting that, like a lot.
Yeah, yeah. There's something to like what you just said, like about. I feel like I feel both of those things every single day still. Where
Yeah,
I'm like, should I work harder or just give up? Like, I really do feel like I'm at a crossroads constantly, where I just feel like I know that it's what I want. Like, and when I say give up, I don't mean give up on making art. I mean give up on like pursuing it. And it's
yeah,
not that I even have a plan B. I've intentionally given myself nothing to
right,
fall back on except
right,
for living with my family here. But like I don't know. I'll look at something like even like YouTube, like doing this, and like I've been working more on YouTube, and I'm like, man, this is so overwhelming. I'm like, wow, I was totally too ambitious. People have to work so hard for this, and I'll just like feel down. And then the next hour, I'll be like, wait a second, no, it's just this game, and I can just put in the work and create what I want
yeah.
to create, and I think I have a shot at this.
I just think like so much of it is it seems so instant now because we get it just like right at our fingertips. But like even I was thinking about like TikTok yesterday. It takes so long to take a like to film like a TikTok,
Dude,
and
yeah,
but there's so many. Like it's just a flood of them, and every once in a while one will go viral, and then what? You have your 15 minutes of fame, and then it's a whole new like feed.
mm-hmm.
So it's just like a weird dynamic. That's kind of why I think lately it's been for me less of like trying to get the streams or whatever. It's more like, man, if I'm not happy with the stuff I'm putting out, there's such a slim chance that like, you know, you're ever going to reach that goal that's in your head. That it's like it's more beneficial to just focus on doing something that actually makes you happy.
Totally, dude, totally. Yes, it's actually funny you say that because last night I saw this guy I follow on TikTok who makes these like
Mhm.
very much looks like he's just in his bedroom making interesting videos.
Right.
And he had this like behind the scenes things like they had like messed up something and it was funny. And so he posted it on TikTok. And the dude is like inside of a warehouse with like a crew of at least 8 people filming this TikTok. And I was like,
And
oh
the
my
whole
gosh.
like facade is gone.
Yeah, and it was like, dude, this dude is working a day job. Like, this is his entire job is to
Yeah.
film TikToks. Like, this is not just a kid in his bedroom.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, right. There's so much work you have to put into it and into anything. And yeah, there really is this. I've been thinking for years, like, um, especially, and it kind of coincides with like religion for me with like Christianity, but there's this weird sense of like, I feel like the only way I'm gonna make it in music is if I'm willing to kind of like what you said, be happy with it on my own, like be content in myself and
Yeah.
with the work I make. Because if you're content, you like what you do, you're gonna go off into more uncharted waters just because you won't even really think about it as uncharted waters. You're just like, yeah, I'm
Right.
making Freeze music or I'm making Evan music, and then once you reach that state, that's when a lot of times when people are attracted to it, it's like, wow, this person's doing
Yeah.
something unique and like flourishing, and then all of a sudden you've
Yeah.
succeeded. But that's hard for people like me who I love the grind and I love the analytics and like I love shows because I can see how I'm gaining a following slowly. It's harder for me
Mhm.
to just take a leap of faith in any sense because I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to like
Yeah.
sink. I just want to like keep being steady, put out a song, go on a tour, make a shirt. I
Yeah.
don't know, just like I don't want to like do something. Even though I'm inspired by people who do crazy stuff, sometimes I'm afraid to like take a big risk or like really trust my gut and like do something crazy.
Yeah. So you have a TikTok?
I do have a TikTok,
Do
man. Yeah.
do you do you put out any videos on there?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same content as what you'd see on my Instagram stories. It's just like really short form, weird, like
Uh,
jokey, like nonsensical, just awkward stuff. I'm not
yeah.
doing like
I'll
crazy stuff on there.
I'll have to give you a follow so
Are you
you
on
can maybe you
TikTok?
could. Yeah, I am. But all my videos are really again kind of like stupid, jokey. Like all the TikTok trends. I just like will make one that kind of like relates more to me or my friend group. A lot of times I'll make like private TikToks just for like my roommates, like with inside jokes. And I'll
Oh,
just like send them in our group message because that's like more fun for me to because what's gonna happen when you put out a TikTok, you might get like a couple hundred views, but if you get a couple good laughs out of like your best friends, you're like, oh, okay, that was a good one, that was a good joke.
yeah, totally, totally.
Like I had more fun making that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you Evan L. Ward? Is that is that what it's called?
uh
I think I found you.
I
Dude,
think
yes, this
so.
is you.
Yep,
You
that's probably me.
Let's
there's
go.
there's a couple different ones. Yep.
You have a couple different TikTok
Yeah.
accounts?
No, no, no. There's a couple different TikTok videos on there,
Yeah, you've only
but
got like
yeah,
9.
yeah. It's a little sparse. I stopped making them. I was doing it a lot in quarantine.
That's
It was
awesome,
kind
dude.
of yeah,
Is quarantine been you living with like living in Nashville and you said who is you say Joe's your roommate?
yeah. I live with four other guys. Um,
Cool.
yeah, it's
Do I
kind
know
of
the other
it's a
guys?
Joe. Do you know Andrew Bannon?
I don't think so.
He drummed for Kelsey like when she was a freshman, and
Cool.
yeah, and then Jack Harris. I don't know if you know him. He's from Chicago originally. He's played
Cool.
with Kelsey too. I think y'all actually played the same show. Kelsey's release.
Yeah, I was
Um,
gonna say I think that we might have played that together. That
yes,
name does sound familiar. I'm gonna look him up.
he's
Cool.
really tall and yeah, I think he played guitar for. He's really tall. That's like his defining feature. Tall, curly hair.
I'm
He's
sure it
from
was even more
Chicago.
defining at that tiny upstairs
At
place
the
where we were
bongo.
had
Yeah,
Kelsey's release at the Bongo Java After Hours. That place is cool.
yeah,
That was the only show I've seen there like since high school. Like I never see shows there, and it's such a cool little spot.
it is. And then my last roommate is Curtis Bell. He's played like trumpet and horn stuff for me before he goes to Belmont. He was a music ed major, but he just switched over. I don't know if that's common knowledge, but he just switched over to like French horn
Whoa, no way.
performance. Yeah.
French horn,
So
that's like the hardest one, is what people say,
yeah,
right?
it is. He's
I played that for
yeah.
like a week in middle school, and it was like I gave up. I was like, this is so weird.
Yeah, it's like definitely not one that you think of when you think of like brass or whatever. You're thinking trumpet, trombone, whatever, tuba. But yeah, French horn.
It's kind of more indie. It's kind of more like Andy Schaaf. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like it's more like pretty. Like I'm pretty sure there's a French horn in that Paul McCartney song where I'm
There's
talking
French
on
horn
Ram.
like all over the Beatles stuff, I think. I
Really?
mean, Yeah, I'm pretty sure because they would use like whole orchestras.
Yeah,
You
you're
know, like
right.
they would have. There's one song. Oh no, there's a French horn on God Only Knows. That's
Oh yeah.
French horn.
Yes, that is French horn. Dude, are you a Beach Boys guy? You mentioned liking the Beach Boys
I
like
do like
yesterday.
the Beach Boys. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I think that was yesterday. Yeah, that I do like the Beach Boys. I've always really uh liked their stuff, and my my parents have always been, you know, they've always had these groups that they liked. Like they were always big fans of the Eagles, and so like that was a group that I listened to a
Oh.
lot growing up. But yeah, I like the Beach Boys a lot, and like I said when we were messaging about this, like Window, I feel like a lot of those like harmonies were like me thinking back to when Wisteria was when you put out Wisteria, I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. Like this
Oh.
can work. You know, this
Yeah,
can work in today's music, and like
totally.
it's got that Beach Boys vibe. That's just it makes you feel good.
Right on, dude. Did y'all track digitally or to tape with Bryce? Do you know?
With Window, yeah, we did digital.
Cool,
So
cool. We did
yeah,
with stereo to tape because they have a
yeah,
tape there, and actually all the singles I put out so far to tape, and it's that was part of like with those harmonies, like it was literally it
just
felt like the
around
Beach
one
Boys,
mic.
like yeah, like those pictures where like they'll be holding like
They have the
one
one, yeah,
head, they'll have like one ear, and they're like all singing.
yeah,
That like we were all just around one mic singing those harmonies
yeah,
because you
dude.
got like one chance.
That track sounds really awesome. That when I heard that, I was like, well, when I heard that and when I listened to Friends finally all the way through, I was like, I need to get in on recording wherever they're recording these songs because they sound awesome and they sound like so, you know, like well thought out and like organic. It was just like a really good feeling that like came through over the recording. You could tell.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah,
those are
that's
good
cool.
tracks, man. Those are good
Right
tracks.
on, man. Dude, are you allowed to tell me, like, I don't know if you know anything about this project, but there's this project called the Divine Church of Sundown Springs, and you look like exactly like this dude. You see this?
I've heard their song, but I I've never seen that picture before.
Dude, that's pretty
But
crazy. That looks like you.
I feel like we might have a bit of a resemblance, like if I turn that way.
Yeah, and
But
you didn't have, yeah, and you have a
I
much,
have heard that song. I don't really know much about their like that group.
I think they're from Nashville or something. Bryce was showing me their music. Oh, no, they're from Louisiana. Wait, so you might know them from that.
Where in Louisiana?
Shreveport?
Yeah, that's not that far from me actually. That's pretty cool.
Whoa,
They've
that's
been
crazy.
and they're just in Nashville, like making music.
I don't know where. I mean, it looks like they live in a Dodge van, maybe. And it says
Wow,
something
they're
about. I
living
see something about
the
Satanism on their bio.
van life.
It's kind of weird. Well,
Wow,
I guess
that's
that's not you. I don't think you're into that.
I'm not.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
not. That I'll have to look up their stuff though. I remember maybe Bryce did post something about that, and I remember listening to that track. It's a cool one, but yeah, I'll have to. Do they have any other stuff out?
This is on their Instagram. This guy looks kind of like Joe if Joe was like older. That's
If
crazy.
if Joe was, yeah, yeah,
If
that
Joe
does
was
kind of look like
high.
Joe. I could actually see that more than the other guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could
You're
see
right.
that
You're right.
resemblance.
Yeah. I could see. Maybe Joe. Maybe it's like Joe's dad or something. I think they're older guys. That's pretty crazy.
I've met Joe's dad. That's not Joe's dad.
Oh, wow.
but yeah, no, that does. I'll have to ask Joe if he has a secret life or something.
Yeah, right. For anyone listening who's just curiously interested in this random detail, listen to the Divine Church of Sundown Springs. They have one song, and I think they like came through Nashville, and Bryce met them or something. Really, really interesting music. They're like from the '80s, and
Yeah, I'm gonna
making
add that to a couple playlists of mine then, because I need to rediscover their stuff.
that's sick, dude. That's sick. Anything else artistically you're working on right now besides now you got those two songs out? Is there anything fresh brewing?
Yeah, I'm trying to like think through like putting out a larger scale project. That's something that I would wanna do like really soon, and probably
Cool.
with Bryce because I've had such an awesome experience. So I've been kind of brainstorming that and trying to write some new stuff. and just kind of trying to figure out what a new sound might be. So,
That's
you
cool.
know,
Is there a certain like style you're looking at or like music you've been digging lately that's leading you down a certain road?
I've been so like my one of my coworkers when I showed him Window, he was like, "Oh, it reminds me of this song by Squeeze," and I was like, "Okay,
Squeeze. What's that?
yeah, it's like a late '70s
Like
or
a
like late
type
'80s, like British kind of pop rock band, and the song is called
cool.
Up the Junction
Up the
was the
junction.
song,
I see that. Yeah,
yeah,
okay. Cool
and so
for
I was like,
cats.
yeah, School for Cats, and so I listened to it and I was like, oh, this is really cool, and um, and so I was listening to that a lot, and I showed Joe, and he showed me this Elvis Costello song. I was like, this is also really cool. And I showed Bryce, and he showed me this NRBQ song, and I
Dude,
was
that's
like, this
my
is
band.
also, yeah, I heard. He was like, oh, this is what Freeze listens to them all the time, and I was like, it kind of has the same vibe as this.
Do you remember what
So
the
he
song was
showed me
called
that.
by the Q? No worries if you don't.
Riding in my car.
Dude, yes.
It was a really good song. It's on my like on repeat.
That's
And
dude, it
so like
just came onto Spotify too. Like it just appeared
really,
like a month ago. Yeah, it'd been gone for like 2 years.
wow,
Like my favorite song by
it's a
them. They just took the whole album off Spotify for a while.
it's a really good track. But
It
anyway,
is, man.
that kind of like almost British sounding, like Beatles influenced, you know, like Beach Boys influenced, but more like a pop kind of sound. I don't know. I don't know exactly where it's going to lead, but
Yeah.
I kind of have a free form idea
That
of
sounds sick. It sounds like
something to
something
come up.
sick that you're brewing up in your stew, you
We'll
know?
see. Me and Bryce, I had written a song kind of inspired by them. Me and Bryce tried to demo it. It was just him and I, and he was on drums, and we were trying to splice together some parts. And anyway, it's gonna take some work. We might have to call on you and a couple other people to be involved with it to make it
Come
work.
on, dude.
Because,
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
but yeah, eventually, I'm whenever I have the time and have all the songs together and kind of have a better vision. Yeah,
Yeah.
trying to do a larger project. So,
What do you feel like with like quarantine continuing on and now you've got this full-time job too?
yeah,
What are some ways that you feel like you can keep, especially now it's like getting dark earlier. This is kind of a new mix. Like we haven't had quarantine plus winter yet.
yeah.
Is there like
That's
a,
like,
are there certain things that you like to do aside from maybe creating music that help you, you know, stay feeling all right?
yeah, man. Winter and quarantine is like a deadly mix, I feel like. But
Quite literally, yeah.
yeah, no, it's like literally. No, I love just like hanging out with friends and roommates, and we all just we find ways to entertain each other. It's really great, honestly, living with this many people at this point because you don't really see a ton of people outside of
Yeah.
your house, and so it honestly makes things feel a bit more normal. And we do stuff like we play video games together, and we
Cool.
cook together. And
What kind of
cooking
gaming?
is honestly, we play like 2K and
Cool, like sports.
yeah, we'll play sports games. We'll also play like Warzone and stuff. I'm
Sick.
personally really bad. Like I'm horrible at video games, but most of my roommates are actually pretty good.
That's awesome,
So
dude.
so I lose a lot, but it's still pretty fun. Uh,
That's fun,
but
dude. That's
that
what
and like
gaming
cooking.
is so like good for, is like for bringing like people, like I mean I know a lot of people get joy out of playing on their own as well, but like
Yeah,
as well as I have, but like when you have like when you're playing a game with multiple people, that's like I feel like the highlight of video game culture to me. It's like this thing that you can like
yeah,
share with people. It's very
for
fun.
sure.
It's when you don't, you know, we put a lot of pressure on each other, like be able to like get coffee and like stare into each other's eyes and like have a conversation. But it's like us, it's cool to just be able to like chill with your friends and just like
Yeah,
dunk on
no,
them, you know.
yeah, exactly. It's and like we'll go out and we have basketball hoops set up, and we'll throw the football and everything. I mean, when the sun hasn't already set, like or on
Yeah,
weekends, we tend to watch NFL on weekends, and yeah, man, cooking is really great because we'll cook really big meals for everyone, and that's fun. So we find ways to like
yeah. What
stay
about cooking?
sane.
You mentioned that too. Yeah, is that something y'all are getting into communally or
We
just you personally?
I mean, I really love to cook, and one of my roommates is a really good cook, and so we'll kind of like make these big meals. We've been making a lot of like curry recently,
Oh,
a lot of Indian food.
oh
Like
man, I love curry, dude. That is
it's so
awesome.
good, and we just make it painfully spicy all the time. Like, and it's just it's almost like more of like one of like so me and most of my roommates had COVID for a while.
No way,
We caught it,
man.
and at one point we were like using curry as like a medicine because when one of my roommates had it, we would like bring him super spicy curry, and of course he couldn't taste, but he was like, I don't know what I just ate, man, but like I can breathe now. I feel so much better. Like all
Oh
my
right.
sinuses are cleared out. Like I, and he was like, I just feel really relaxed. And we're like, yeah, that's probably because it was super spicy and you just couldn't tell.
Wow, he got all the benefits of like something spicy, yeah, like clearing up your
Yeah.
nasal passages, but then the pain that really people aren't willing to
Yeah,
endure.
exactly. It kind of worked out for him. But
Dude, that's awesome, man. Sma, you know Sma, Big Sma
yeah,
plays in my band.
I've met Sma. Man, he like there was a party at Kelsey's that I think I met him at one time. It was like
Wait,
him and
what?
Grant were there. It was
Was it a
I
bonfire?
think I don't there might have been. I think it was like Halloween or maybe it was Luke Rogers uh birthday party.
Dude,
I
screw
don't
this
know.
story. Why? I'm just jealous. I can't even handle whatever you're about to tell me.
I don't know, but
Luke Rogers'
I
birthday
bet.
party and Sma and Grant were there, and Kelsey and
Yeah,
Evan.
Luke Rogers had a middle school themed birthday party, like middle school dance theme. It was really fun. But yeah, but I've met Small like once or twice, and he also came and watched the the Titans beat the Ravens like
No
2 years ago at
way.
my house, or like a year ago at my house. Yeah.
That's cool. That's
Uh,
awesome. Smal's one of my best friends. He's the one who got me into Curry. Is why I brought it up. But yeah, like
oh yeah,
Smon and Grant and I, we did a band together in high school, and that's where I really started
yeah, and y'all have known each other
playing.
for a while,
Yeah, we
right?
all met playing little league sports, and so we kind of
That's
and like
awesome.
we all went to different like we were on the Church of Christ, which is kind of its own Nashville bubble of like churches and
Yeah,
all. That's what Lipscomb, the school is as well. So we all went to
yeah,
that school and kind of just had similar upbringings and did
yeah.
like theater and choir together and did
I feel
math
like
class.
there's like such a cool like I've gotten to learn about like the Lipscomb pocket of like musicians, and then the
Yeah.
it was like the Nashville Art School or whatever. I forget who I was listening to.
Oh,
Uh,
NSA, like the high school.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
that has like Kelsey's EP that she put out a while back. Like there were some people involved with that were in NSA.
Yeah, right.
That I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense, kind of putting that together. And then like the whole Future Crib Brentwood crew, it's kind of cool to see
Totally,
how it
totally.
all connects.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because right, I didn't know those guys until I was already in college, like Future Crib. But
Yeah,
they had a similar thing going on. And then yeah, NSA, which is the Nashville School of the Arts, which you can like. I don't think anyone is zoned for, right? You have to like. It's a public school, but you can like request to be a part of, and
yeah,
it's got this whole culture where it was honestly like annoying in high school. Like they were the cool kid, it's like all the kids who like smoked cigarettes and wore like leather jackets and were like,
yeah,
like
exactly.
whenever we'd be booking in high school, we're like the only band at Lipscomb, like, or you know what I mean, like one of two or three anyone's who do like
Right.
music, and so we've got our own very just like suburban idealistic like thing where we're like, yeah, we're gonna do music, and then you play a show and be like, oh man, it's like this NSA band, and all the kids there are like smoking cigarettes, and they're just like, oh yeah, like this band is like totally punk, it'd be like punk music,
Yeah.
just way too cool. So
And
yeah,
they're
that's
like, oh, these Church of Christ kids like rolling up, crashing
yeah,
our
dude.
show. Like,
We're like incredibly earnest, like harmony driven. Like, yeah, I
yeah,
honestly, I honestly prefer like I don't know. I always wanted to go to NSA. Like, I thought that would have been so cool in high school. But looking back, I think I'm in the same way that we were talking about what it's like to come from a different town to Nashville. Although I was born
yeah,
in Nashville, in some ways I am grateful for like the lack of understanding I had of the music business or of like music culture at all. To where like me and Grant and Samal were making music just based off of what we liked, which was a very weird, eclectic group of indie music, and like Small was really into the Chili Peppers. He's like, oh, we should make music like, and it's like we didn't
Right.
know what was marketable or even how to like. We would play with bands, and they clearly had a way better sense of like what music business was like. They're like, oh, we're doing
Yeah.
this, we're working on this EP, and like we're gonna pitch it. We just had no understanding of, and no, I honestly still don't. And in times it's frustrating, but in other
I
ways I
mean,
feel like it's liberating to just, like you said, make music just to make music, and you know, I don't know,
yeah,
just
I feel like if
create.
you get too far into it, it gets a little discouraging. So,
Totally, which is the
yeah.
weird paradox because I feel like everyone wants to get deeper into it, but what are you willing to give up to get there?
Yeah, I feel like the whole just Nashville music thing is so counterintuitive in a lot of ways. Like, yeah, to network, you have to try not to network. You have to just like make friends, and to
Right?
get to get out there, you just have to not try to get out there and just do what you love,
Yeah,
and to figure out your way in the music industry, you'd have to not focus on the music industry so much. It's like, I don't know, it's always a
totally,
balancing act.
dude. That is so well put. Yeah, exactly. You're like, it's this constant reevaluation of it. You're like, oh, should I hit up this person or like, well, because you also don't want to like you don't want your friendships to feel too transactional, but then at the same
Yeah,
time that's exactly you are like you want to collaborate with everyone, like
yeah.
your friends, you want them to take pictures for you or plan a bill with them, but then at the same time like,
Hmm.
what if it's not like that? What if they think they're bigger than me, and then they think
Yeah,
I'm like I'm just I'm a
you're
cloud
trying to use
chaser.
them, yeah, like
Because and there are
using them
cloud
as a step
chasers, like
ladder.
you
Right.
do meet people where you're like, yo, this person just like doesn't seem like they actually care about me as a friend, but it's very rare. It's very rare that people actually
Yeah,
are that way,
yeah.
but we're all afraid of being that person. And it's just like, even, and I feel that way. Like, I don't want to reach out to like, like Ron Gallo or Okie Dokie or like some band that's
Right.
bigger than me in town. Cause I'm like, oh, like,
Yeah.
what if they think I'm
What?
just like a kid?
Just trying to use them like for clout or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
terrifying.
agree. It
But at the
is.
same
It's
time, you
like,
want to give everything you've got to making it happen. So you're like,
yeah,
should I just take that risk? And then it's like, what if I mess up that relationship? It's like, well, I don't know. It's terrifying to
yeah.
me.
I I agree. I get that. And it's really just weird. Like, it's a hard balance, and it's just so different than any other industry, because everywhere else you're like, especially in business, it's like we're not friends, like we're not supposed to be friends, like this
Right.
is this is business, like. And
Totally.
in music, like, so much of it is about the community, and you don't want to be that guy.
Right. Right.
Like,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very very strange world to live in, and something that is pretty hard to communicate to people outside of even family, because it's built in such a nuanced, if that's the right word, like way where you're like basically like things are happening in ways you can't even describe, like socially, and like what you're trying to grow and achieve and why you're doing what you're doing and why you think it's worth your time. And it's a very like it's a very confusing thing to explain to anyone around you. Then you go to Thanksgiving dinner, traditionally, maybe not this year, but with like
Yeah.
your extended family, it's just like, well, how's music? And you're like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that question.
It's like, it's good. I enjoy making it, I mean, yeah. People, and it is just like, yeah, people, they have these kind of like amorphous like versions of success that are like lined up for musicians, that they like imagine, like, oh, this
Totally.
is when you make it, like you sign a record deal, you get this many like followers or streams, and it's just like all those at this point, you just have to be spinning so many plates in the music industry, because it's like so few times is it like a clear cut thing, and so it's like,
Yeah, right.
I'm
And the
working
clear
on a
cut
couple
things
different
are
things.
like, they're like, the goalposts have changed so much since even
Yeah,
since we were kids. It's also frustrating because like growing up, it was like we was like, oh, you want to win a Grammy, or it's like something like that,
yeah,
or be on like David Letterman, like be on late night, like. But
yeah,
now it's like people don't even watch late night as much. Like even if I got there, it really wouldn't be a huge exposure point. Like it'd be, obviously for me right now in this moment, it'd be a huge exposure point. But like
right,
by the time you're like a signed band, I don't know. I guess things like SNL and late night still have clout, but it's like these things that are becoming less popular, and those are the same things that we're like that you want. There's
yeah.
there's certain there's certain things that it's almost like I want them just so I could like post it on
Say that you had
Facebook
them.
and like, yeah, like
Yeah,
show my family and extended family, because to them that's
yeah,
success, and they can't understand like space prom or like something like why that to me is like a success. It's like
Yeah.
I need to like win American Idol or something.
Which it's like, I mean, it's, it's hard to say or to talk about stuff like that, like Space Prom, because it's not on like a national, like you don't see it on like a national stage, but it's like
Right.
something that's integral to like this, community. And like I said, at this point we're in like the playing field has evened so much, and everyone's getting their like 15 minutes of fame. At this point, if you can get like a sustained, like sort of not like a, you're shooting up, like a rocket, but just like a sustained kind of climb, or like, fan base community, like,
Yeah.
then that's kind of the best thing, I feel like, in my
Dude,
opinion.
dude, I completely agree. That's been my whole
Yeah.
case study since I got on TikTok, is realizing what you said. Even if you post something, you have no
Hmm.
followers, you still get like 200 views, right? So
Hmm.
they've built it to where almost everyone has gone viral once, or viral. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, I
Yeah.
made this TikTok and it kind of blew up. And you're like, whoa, that's so cool. Like,
Yeah.
and you almost feel like everyone is like viral on TikTok or something, because
Hmm.
they especially they're the newest algorithm to like work for everyone. And like more and more in culture, we're seeing where everyone has an
Yeah.
opportunity to have those 15 seconds of fame. And it does come back to sustainability. Like if you want to make it as an artist, you have to like build a career. And I
Yeah.
think that's
What's the difference between like someone who gets 2 or 3 million views on a video, or 2 or 3 million likes or whatever, versus someone like David Dobrik, who's like
right.
consistently like has this huge fan base? Like, what's the difference
Totally.
between that? And I think it is sustainability.
Yeah, I guess it's like work ethic mixed with like constant, yeah, just like work and creativity, uh, and like adaptability. Where they're like, oh, like, can you imagine when TikTok came out? Like, I didn't download it because I was just like, oh, another thing. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
But it's like, I guess the real people are creative, especially online creative. They're just like,
Hmm.
cool, yeah, I'll download that. Cool, these are the new rules for making my art. Like, this is
Yeah.
the new game. Okay, let's try it out.
I,
You know,
totally. I
it's
feel like
absolutely
TikTok
crazy.
just took everyone by storm too. It was just like such a weird thing, just
Totally,
completely
totally.
different. It was sort of like Vine, but I was never really into Vine.
I wasn't either. Right. It's fascinating to watch, man, and it's as an artist, I'm always keeping my eye on it and keeping my eye on just every platform and way that people use to communicate. As they
Yeah.
use social media to promote their art, or maybe to create their art, depending on how you interpret it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's
Depending
definitely
on the art form.
yeah, exactly. Um, dude, we've reached the end of our hour.
Yeah, for
Probably
sure.
and then some, man. But I feel like I could talk for a long more time. Is there anything else you
Yeah.
wanted to chat about, or anything else you wanted to say while we're here?
No, I mean, I thanks for having me on, man. It's been really cool. I'm glad that we finally get to meet and like have a kind of a long form conversation, because
Dude,
this
100%,
is
man.
really the first time that we've like gotten to do this,
Yeah, it is, man. I totally agree. It's been
which
awesome.
strange that it's on video, but like, yeah, it's
Yeah, I
awesome.
know. I was hoping to meet you the other night at Kelsey's single
Yeah.
release tiny party with like basically just Bryce, Katie, and you were like there, but then you had to leave.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that. That man, it just feels like not. It feels like forever ago that All My Friends came out, which is an awesome song
Yeah,
too.
right. It is an
Yeah.
awesome song. I need to have Kelsey back on soon.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you for taking time out of your family's Thanksgiving
Totally.
like Airbnb hang or whatever y'all are doing, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope you enjoy the second half of Elf.
Yeah. I hope that I can catch some of it. I think we might actually. We're about to probably start cooking dinner pretty
Oh,
soon. But
cool. Well, enjoy
yeah.
that, man. Thank you
So
so much for taking time to chat with me. It's been really cool.
yeah.
And for anyone listening, obviously check out the 2 new songs. Follow Evan Ward on Spotify and Instagram, and maybe even TikTok if you want to see his 9 TikToks.
Maybe more to come.
Check out the Divine Church. Wait, what's the full name now? The Divine Church of
I don't know. You
whatever.
you you tell me.
The Divine Church of Sundown Springs. Also, just randomly, if anybody wants to hear that. Uh,
They seem like a cool band.
and if you're just Evan's friend, then follow me on Instagram because I'd love to be your friend too, and listen to my music. Yeah, cool, man. Have a good rest of
Well,
your time. Have a good rest of your holiday.
yeah. Thanks, man. Have a good one.
No
Good to
problem.
talk to you.
Good
All right.
talking.
Peace out, Freeze.
Peace.